I need you guys to see what I saw, because now we're in it. All right. CERN's been up to some shit. We're gonna figure it out. All right. Oh, okay. The fuck is that? Now they look jellified for a second. Literally keep showing a puzzle with a piece missing. It's so accurate. I'm lost. There is no end through this start in grace, infinity, essence of power, ruins as though it goes through the star, and also the star is finite. Only that. Alright, you're just gonna cycle back through, cycle back through the currents. Okay, gotta do the credits for sure. Okay, only the person who has wisdom can read the most foolish one from the history. The fish that lives in the act doesn't know the world in the land. It also ruins and goes if they have. It also ruins and goes if they have wisdom. It is funnier that man exceeds the speed of light than fish start living in the land. It can be said that this is the final ultimatum from the god to the people who can fight. Okay, okay. Interesting. I don't really understand that. I probably have to read it a few more times. We're chapter 3. We just discovered CERN's experimentations. The ticking of the clock is like a hammer inside my head. It's past 2 a.m. I was right. We're in too deep. This is bad. Real bad. What's going on here? They jellified someone? Upon hearing the familiar word jellified, it reflexively looked at the bunch of bananas placed next to the computer. They're experimenting on people? Kurisu doesn't even avert her eyes from the gruesome image. And this means they've created a time machine, doesn't it? Even if it's not perfect. Eh? This New York Times article is from 1921. 90 years ago. Look. The jellified corpse of a man. She's pointing to the shoulder, which has writing on it. Perhaps it was printed on his clothes, diffused onto the jellified body. You could somehow manage to read it. CERN. As if they wanted to claim their work. So CERN used the LHC to send someone back to 1921? Looks like they failed to keep him alive, though. Is this the only report? No, there's more that looks like 14 people in total. I should probably be using his little squeaky voice. It's not how he sounds like, I just like making him talk like that. More jellymen? That means more jellified people? More victims of human experimentation? I'm awfully thirsty. I take a cold Dr. P out of the fridge and wet my throat. I know he's not talking about this Dr. P, but... Show me the others. Jellyman Report 9. Subject, Dam Strike Ski. Age, 26. Canadian. Z Program 4. Date of experiment, 2004, September 6th. What is that? 2 o'clock, 2:10 p.m. Results aired. Human is dead. Mismatch. The newspaper clippings. I think it's in French. I can't read it. You can read the date though. January 31st, 2001. Ooh. The location is Pau, France, I guess. 2001, that's fairly recent. Big difference from James McCarthy, who jumped nearly 90 years back to 1921. Daru calls it a machine translation, giving us the following. January 31st, 2001. Collapsed nail course discovered in the forest outside Pau, France. Its left foot was fused to a tree trunk and the body had jellified. Jellyman Report 8. Subject Linda Hill. Age 25. English. She had big bun. 7. Or Z. Jesus. Z Program 4. Date of experiment 2004. Okay, so this is like a month after the last one, right? No, the last one was September. Is that the next year? What was it? I already forgot the actual day. Was it the same year? Uh, at like 1:45. Results air. Human is dead. Mismatch. October 2nd, 1972. The jellified body of a woman was discovered on the streets of Dharmampuri in Tamil Nadu, India. There are signs that the body has been run over by a car. Jellyman Report 7. Subject Michael Lang. Age 33. German. So they're going... Okay. So they're traveling... So CERN is an international corporation. So I assume that they are... That they have... Like, these are employees or whoever is being put into these jellified machines. Like the banana, are they returning to where they came from? Like their country of origin? And that's why they're in all these different places. This is interesting. Z Program 4, date of experiment 2002. Okay, so this is 2 years prior to the last one. It's going to be October 8th. This happened at 1:28, so a little earlier. Results, error, human is dead, mismatch. May 24th, 1963, the corpse of what is believed to be a jellified human was discovered at the base of Mount Hiei in Kyoto. It was in a damaged state, possibly from having slid down the slope. Next page. The fish. The picture shows a beach, beautiful, but the jellyfish-like body laying on the sand and looks of a horror on the surrounding locals' faces. It must have washed ashore. Jellyman Report number 6. Deuces, not live with Jellyman. The fellow island is very close to the island, blah, blah, blah. The rumor is that among the residents of the island has gone up too. Okay. There was a step. They know that it's CERN. What the fuck? Subject Mark Hughes, age 30, American. Oh, if he's American and he... Oh, but this is in English. Z program date of experiment 2002, August 23rd at 12:52. Results air, human is dead in mismatch. On July 1st, 1985, a strange body washed ashore on the coast of Tremoy, Faroe Islands. It appears to be the body of an adult male, but its flesh was soft like that of a jellyfish. Some of the island's inhabitants believe that it was the body of a man. Wrong. It's a man at a time. The inscription CERN was found near the body's shoulder, but CERN denies any involvement. Imagine that. Literally CERN written on them. What do you mean? It wasn't us. I've seen enough. There are 14 of these people. The sites are spread throughout the world. What can we deduce from this? They must have sent them to those places. Oh, maybe, yeah. I don't think so. It's too random. It does seem that. There was something about curved black holes and gravity, right? Isn't that the cause? Just think about what happened to the banana. It went back to the stem. It is believed that due to infinite compression by supergravity, there's such a thing as supergravity, Jesus, the subject could not endure passage through the curved black hole singularity. That's what it said. What, a curved black hole? Is it different from the regular black hole? It's a theoretical black hole with a rotating singularity. Their existence hasn't been proven yet, not that there's any way to prove one exists. Curved black hole. Where have I heard that term before? Ooh, okay, I love these. That's right, John Teeter. No! Okay, thank God. Yes, it does have the gravity distortion used. My time machine is not perfect. It was built by a third party who reverse engineered CERN's design. The gravity distortion unit is a little unstable. First, the unit processes a microsingularity, then injects electrons to induce rapid rotation. This generates a local gravity sine wave. As the time machine passes through the singularity, the gravity distortion unit regulates the pressure to ensure safe passage. I'm not a specialist, so I cannot explain the mechanics any further. Let me just say that curved black holes can be manufactured. I assume everyone's aware of Steins' current experimentations with black hole creation. Yep. John Titor, you're the GOAT! Oh, it's 2010 currently. That's the timeline. According to Titor, Steins finished the time machine in 2034. Then Titor himself came from 2036. And I assumably from a different. The way he explained it is that there's no true. Like, you can't go back to where you were. You're hopping to a different time, essentially, like a different universal time. Makes sense for Teeter and CERN to be using the same time travel technology. I could be wrong though. I do not 100% get it. Creating current black holes? That's insane. If you screw up, you could swallow the Earth. And besides, current black holes are just a theoretical construct. If Teeter's predictions are a reality, then that means the LHC's worst case scenario video on YouTube is right. Oh, is the music loud as hell? There we go. And of course, it turns off now. I don't know about Teeter's predictions, but I've seen the problem video before. It was the news 2 or 3 years ago. The gravitational forces inside a black hole are unbelievably powerful. It's certainly possible that the passing through one could allow time displacement, but there's no way a human could do that and come out alive. That must be how these people got jellified. It wouldn't just jellify you, it would tear you apart particle from particle. That's what the black hole does. It strings up your atoms, right? Before we discuss this, shouldn't we look through the rest of the time machine research? Dario already pulling up new documents. I'm suddenly afraid. Should I stop him? I'm the one who asked him to do it, but things have gotten serious now. At the same time, irresistible curiosity is welling up inside me. Time travel is becoming a reality. I want to know that it's true. I can't stop now. Here we go. Here we go. There's a file in the Z program that explains time travel theory. That was pretty easy to find. CERN shouldn't have better security. Their security's fine. I'm just too good. Daru is my favorite right arm. I thought he was your super hacker. Hacker! Careful. What are they doing with that? They keep using the A and the ER. What does it say, Christina? Can you give me some time to read it? Her earlier reluctance has vanished. In fact, it looks like she's as curious as I am. Who's texting me right now? What do you... Ferris, Phantasm in the... Have you bought Phantasm's debut single yet? Yeah? It's the theme song for Reinet Kakuri, so it's really popular. Ferris bought 5 copies, yeah. It's my favorite duty as Reinetter. Anyway, there's an important secret hidden in Phantasm songs. The key to unlocking it is, oops, the bell's ringing. Yeah, it looks like someone's here. Alright, this is a cat woman, clearly. But she is... I get she's in the fantasy with us. She seems to really believe we're in a secret organization, and I don't know if she's also in a weird timeline or if she's actually just crazy. We're gonna figure it out. I'm aware. They're said to be contained directions to the sanctuary as well as prophecies regarding the end of the world. Isn't that right? Send. There, that should do it. I should have looked at the other options. No way. But this is. Is Titter really? What are you muttering about? Tell me what it says. Oh, right. You know this feeling? You know this feels like one big joke. What do you mean? It's almost the same as Teeter's theory. Basically, the LHC smashes protons together at 99.9999991% the speed of light. But doing so, they compress the mass of 10 to the negative 24th kilogram into an extremely tiny space of 10 to the negative 19th meter? In Japanese, please, 3 lines max. Or Japanese, please, 3 lines max. A small mass thrust into a narrow space with great force. That explanation's too vague. Talking about small maths. Explanations. That explanation's too erotic. Huh? What part of it is erotic? Ah, Hashida, you pervert. Sounds like you have a pretty good imagination yourself. I'm not like you. Her blushing cheeks make her denial less than effective. Don't listen to this fool, Christina. Continue. Ugh. Uh, what were we talking about? Thrusting with great force. Jesus Christ, she's a minor, my brog. Proton compression. Right. Successful compression generates a microsingularity, which... A microsingularity, not a mini black hole? Semantics, my guy. Same thing. Essentially, a singularity is the core of a black hole. This process generates a black hole with 2 microsingularities. 2 cores? A black hole with two cores? You're telling me we're 2 cores right now? Hello, Marceline, my sweet angel baby. Hello. What are you doing? You gonna watch? Are you just gonna? Okay, good. You're not interrupting. Thank you. Like a cowlick with 2 hairs? No, I didn't think that's it. Explain with cute girls. Fine. Say there are 2 girls, Mick-chan, Crow-chan. Sisters are Mo? Haha. By feeding Mick-chan and Crow-chan electrons, you can make them do whatever you want. Electric shock therapy? This some sort of rouge? What the fuck? So you force them to rotate at an extremely high velocity, and then theoretically, Mick-chan and Crow-chan transform into magical girl ring singularity. Now this I understand. Q stock transformation scene. Got it. Well, it's like these two have found a common wavelength. The resulting black hole exhibits what is called the Kerr's effect. What are Kerr black holes anyway? You said they spin, but what does that mean? Exactly what it sounds like. But don't black holes usually spin? I mean, there's a whirlpool around the hole, right? That part that looks like it's spinning is just the surrounding matter being sucked into the black hole, right? It's being spaghettified. A black hole is just the point where extreme mass causes gravitational collapse. Everything falls towards it. Yeah, because it's just mass, insane mass. I love nerdy stuff like this. Cat, even though I don't get it all the time. Since it's the only point it doesn't spin. A Kerr's black hole has a ring at the center, not a point. Think of it like this. Once transformed into magical girls, Mick-chan and Crow-chan's hearts spin like a ring inside their bodies, which is impossible for normal people. I'll pass on the euro. Before you said that, such a black hole existence would be impossible to prove. What do you mean? A black hole has what is called an event horizon. Once you pass an event horizon, time and space switch places. Time and space switch places. Right now we can move freely through the space and into the future, but we can't move even 1 minute into the past. That becomes reversed. On the other side of the event horizon, moving freely through space becomes impossible, while moving freely through time becomes possible. I can't even imagine what that's like. Since unrestricted spatial movements is impossible, you can never escape a black hole. For example, if Okabe jumped into a black hole, time for him would stretch to infinity. Ooh, not good. Since light cannot escape, human eyes cannot see the other side of the event horizon. Real shit. Observing black hole from the outside is impossible, so nothing about the inside can be proven. There is an exception, however. This exception is vital when you use Kerr's black hole for time travel. Get to the point. The Kerr's black hole spring singularity, since it's spinning, has an angular momentum. Goddamn angular momentum. Like I said, in Japanese, please. Didn't I already explain how the core spins? Just think of it having momentum. If you keep giving Mick-chan and Crow-chan electrons, they'll rotate faster and faster. And when their angular momentum exceeds a certain threshold, the event horizon will disappear and the singularity will become a naked singularity.
Nah, naked? You mean magical girls' costumes expose a lot of skin right when their anime adaptation airs?
Naked, you mean becomes observable. Transparent. When the event horizon disappears, there's no more reason for time and space to change places, meaning that you can enter a naked singularity without being trapped. I'm confused. Let me see if the tool trips. The tip list helps me out. Naked singularity. Singularity is usually concealed by its event horizon, which renders the observation impossible. A naked singularity is a singularity whose event horizon has been removed and can therefore be observed and even traveled through. This extensively naked singularity. Okay, it's not a real thing. Event horizon, also known as Schwarzschild's surface, is in a black hole. There exists a point beyond which light can no longer escape. Black hole's immense gravity. This boundary is called the event horizon because the light and other electromagnetic waves are responsible for conveying information. Nothing that occurs within the event horizon can be observed from the outside. The center of a black hole is black because there's no light that can escape it. Stock transformation. Whatever. When the event horizon disappears, no more reason. Okay. And then the existence of the naked singularity allows the principle of causality to be violated and the general theory of relativity to fail. Ooh, fucking with Einstein. The laws of physics are broken. Can such a thing exist? The negation of a theory of relativity and the principle of causality means serious paradoxes can occur. Didn't Carissius say that earlier? Nothing in principle stops Kerr's black holes from existing. It seems inconsistent, but the math never lies. Since the principle of causality fails, it would be possible to travel to the past by entering a naked singularity. This is a prize. Does that mean that the age already knows about my time machine? Did you already encounter me 10 years ago? If so, that must have been on another world line. I, at least, have not gone to the year 2000. In any case, the important point is that the rotating black hole has the same effect as the Tipler cylinder. You can learn more about Kerr black holes by studying Penrose's diagram or Tipler's calculations. My time machine works by generating a pair of Kerr black holes. John Teeter said the same thing. We read this one already, which would mean Teeter's time machine is using CERN's technology. I mean, he said that, though, right? One thing I don't understand is how they inject electrons into a singularity. Look, this is a picture of the LHC, but there's a strange equipment installed at the proton collision site. It looks like they call it a lifter, but just what is it? Daru, have you heard of it? Lifter?
Lifter! I think I saw that on the Z program files. Wanna Google it? We've got hits!
About 422,000 results. That many? I guess it's not a secret. Could this be a... What is that? Ionocraft? Enocraft? Oh, ioncraft. Ions are charged particles. The meaning matches. We click on the link that says Ionocraft Lifter. Move to link destination. It takes us to a video. Looks like some dim garage, but it doesn't seem like anything secretive, just garage like you'd see in an average American home. At the center of the screen is a triangular shape, made of some kind of metal. It looks about 10 centimeters high and about 30 centimeters wide. It's connected to some sort of transformer by a thin wire. Looks like some really cheap equipment. That's all there is. Nothing else. After explaining something in some language I don't understand, Russian maybe, the person films the video slowly turns the power on. And then... it's floating.
It's floating!
The silvery triangle floats soundlessly into the air. Then it remains stationary. That's an anti-gravity device. Don't be ridiculous. That would be the breakthrough of the century. It's called the ionocraft, so it probably has something to do with electrodes and charged air. We looked up information about the Craft lifter. Lots of sites have detailed instructions on how to make lifters, but I don't know how they work since the sites are all conflicting theories. CERN is using this lifter technology. It is a vital component to their time machine. If they can manipulate a microsingularity's mass and gravitational field, then this thing really are anti-gravitational devices. Well, under those exact conditions, I guess you might not entirely be wrong. Incredible. My curiosity is growing more by the second. But it looks like CERN's having trouble adjusting to their lifter. They don't have a full control over the microsingularity's gravity, so they can make true naked singularity. They must be the reason why the subjects turn into jellymen. I wonder what it is. Since the singularity is still closed, the subject is crushed by a tremendous gravity. As a result, substances become fractalized. Let's go with the hypothesis. Of course, there's no way to be sure that it's right. It may take months to prove. So CERN's lifter is still incomplete? Everybody like to know about my time machine. I'm happy to explain. So, it's impossible to reintroduce with the current technology. Certain critical components won't exist until certain events them in 2034. So, shut the fuck up. Time travel works by altering gravity. Basically, you could think of it as using the twin paradox, but that alone isn't enough to reverse time. If we can complete the phone wave name subject to change, first then we'll have the outwitted CERN. We don't think half the equipment or we don't have half the equipment or funding CERN does. What makes you think we can solve problems they can't? This isn't that simple. CERN still hasn't figured out how to set the subject's destination in time or space. That should be evident by how scattered their Shaolin discovery was. We don't even know if this is all of them. They could be jellymen buried underground or floating in space. Actually, I'm almost certain there are. There's no point in traveling through time if you end up in tens of thousands of kilometers away from the Earth. It's not practical at all. Titter said that he has a variable gravity lock system. He can use that to lock onto the Earth's gravity and ensure that he arrives somewhere on the planet's surface. Teeter's explanation on that point was vague. He mentioned having such a device, but he didn't explain how it works. Reach out to him. You got his number, don't you? But if you're only moving through time, won't you just arrive to the same location? Of course not. No, the Earth's moving, dumbass. Because the Earth's always moving. See? Right. Rotation and revolution. The Earth's rotation velocity is around 1,650 kilometers per hour. Oh, I need that in American. Give me 1 second. All right, let me give me 1 second. It's about 1,025 miles per hour. Light work, light work. 1,000 miles, not bad, not bad. Whee! Its orbital velocity is around the sun is about 114,000 kilometers per hour. Yikes. Meanwhile, as 1 hour ago, we were that far away from where we are now. Okay.
Whoa! When you think about it like that, we're earth shattering fast.
Shut the fuck up, Daru. And that's not at all. And that's not all. The solar system is part of the Milky Way, and the Milky Way spins in a giant whirlpool. There are various theories, but basically the Earth moves at about 50 million kilometers a day. So about 3 million miles. So you can roll on this. So she can roll all those numbers so smoothly off her tongue. I get that she's a genius, but it's hardly common knowledge. Has she been doing research on the topic?
We've gotten into a ludicrous scale.
By the way, the Milky Way is part of a larger cluster of galaxies, which is itself part of an even larger supercluster. I didn't know that. But these clusters and superclusters might be moving too. If that's the case, we're moving even more than 50 million kilometers a day. The point is that setting the destination will require insane calculations, even if you only want to travel 1 second into the past. Doing it by hand is impossible, and it might take years for a supercomputer to come up with a solution. Just to get you to the same location. Then we have no choice. We need to find Teeter and borrow his variable gravity system. Great idea, go for it. I wonder how CERN is dealing with this problem. Dawn breaks. We stayed up all night again. Karisu's the only one who can read CERN's documents. She's from America. Or no, she's not from America, but she knows English and was in America. Daru and I couldn't opt to use the translation software, but that'd be nowhere near as efficient as she is. Well, it's not exactly what I had in mind when I said I wanted to borrow her knowledge. It just goes to show you that I was right to make her a lab med. Daru was fast asleep on the sofa. Good. Who's texting me this early in the morning? Part-time warrior, hungry. I'm so hungry I had to skip breakfast again. I don't have much time on hand. Are there any good places to find insects or weeds around here? I can get by using my survival skills if I have to. Should I reply? Of course you should. What is this? What kind of childhood did you have? Hardcore. Let's call him hardcore. A good kind of hardcore. You're a legend, bro. Oh, another text? Popular. Oh, he replied. If you cook them right, they can taste surprisingly good. She must have some time on her hands. Why can't I reply to that? How do you cook them? How long? I decided to watch some TV. As always, the news channels are covering the Radicon satellite crash. That's the thing I was talking about earlier, the rocket ship. That's probably a time machine. 5 days have passed since the satellite crashed, and with the start of summer vacation season, crowds are gathering in the glimpse of the satellite, which still has not been removed. I assume it's just a time machine that traveled back to this point, and it just fucked up the calculation. 5 days have passed. Well, there was a working one we saw before in the very beginning. 5 days have passed since the satellite crash, and with the start of the summer vacation season, crowds are gathering to get a glimpse of the satellite, which has still not been removed. In an interview earlier today, Michael Byrne, spokesman of NASA was started by Operation Paperclip, which has Nazis. That is, no satellite has crashed in Japan, and that the crash object was, in fact, not even a satellite. The satellite is currently under police investigation, and no date for removal has been set. Is it really under investigation? This could be another plot by the organization. Okay. Good morning. Oh wait, should I say good afternoon? Ooh, the air is so thick. The three of us probably look pretty haggard since we stayed up all night. But it's hard to put a bright smile on now that we know about CERN. Mayuri's appearance makes Daru get up with a grimace. Karisu's also finally moves away from the computer, and after taking off her lab coat, left the lab muttering, I'm gonna go get some coffee. Real, I need a white monster. But she wasn't gone long. There aren't any cafes or convenience stores around here, so she must have had used a nearby vending machine. Since all lab meds are present and accounted for, this is the perfect opportunity to hold another roundtable conference. Roundabout confluence? What's that? A meeting of lab meds. Have we done that before? Do you even have a round table? Not physically, however. Yes, you've mistakenly don't get sticking things in people's hearts. Yes, you're mistaken. Don't go sticking things in people's hearts. Is there one in Mayushi's too? Of course there is. Oh, that's good. But what's a roundable? And why a round table? You King Arthur? I'm only a temporary lab med anyway. These people whine about every little thing. Anyway, it's a roundtable conference, Mayuri. Wasn't here last time, so first, let's explain the situation to her. Can I help you, kitty? I tell Mario about everything we discovered in our absence. To dead people? Oh shit. How Stern is making a time machine, about Jellyman, about how Men in Black might be coming to erase us all for what we know. Real shit. I told you, you shouldn't do bad things. Bad. You say we are bad? Absurd. If we're bad, then CERN's even worse. They aren't even satisfied with ruling the world. Now they want to get their hands on space-time itself. I agree. Crucio is once again wearing her lab coat. I think she's grown fond of it, as she well should. What CERN is doing is unforgivable. They're traitors to humanity, to society, and to science. I guess. I didn't want to get Myri involved, but she's surprisingly perceptive. She'd find out even if we kept it a secret, so it's better to just tell her. Anyway, Ragnarok can no longer be averted. The final battle with CERN is near. A large part of it is still afraid, but we've come too far to turn back now. We can't unlearn what we know. Ragnarok? Norse mythology again? Christina, I ordered you to investigate CERN. What have you learned? I remember being ordered, but whatever. There are two problems CERN faces with time travel. First is the electron injection device, also known as the lifter. Unless they're getting it to function properly, they can't make the current black hole singularities naked. If we send a test subject through the singularity in the current state, the supergravity compress them into a micro level. Naturally, there's no way to survive. The second problem is that they can't specify a physical destination. They can't choose where they end up after traveling to the past. That's why I'd say the 14 found jellymen were the lucky ones. Over 100 human experiments have been performed since 2001. The remaining 80 or so people ended up somewhere that can't be found. They can't be found. Why can't they be found? Did you know? The world is constantly moving. It's rotational. Okay, this is exactly how I literally acted like 5 minutes ago. Its rotational speed is 150,000 kph. Its orbital speed is 114,000 kph. Dover's tone is authoritative. He's been relying on what he heard from Karisu last night. CERN has been looking for solutions, but it's not going well. Even CERN is having difficulties? Now then, have you learned anything that could possibly help us complete the phone wave named subject to change? Well, I suppose you could call LHC the world's largest microwave oven. Of course, in other words, the phone wave's named subject to change is a miniature LHC. Might be onto something there. However, there's too many things we don't know about the phone wave. Why do the same phenomena that occur in CERN's time machine also occur in that tiny little microwave? Unlike the LHC, the thing wasn't made for time travel. It was made to warm Mayushi's chicken. Well, yeah. Since the Jellyman phenomena occurred with a phone wave named subject to change, Mayuri's bananas must be reaching the curved black hole's ring singularity. What? It makes a black hole here? It won't suck us in, will it? If it sucked us in, we'd become Jellymen too. But we still haven't figured out the electric discharge phenomenon, or the conditions required to cause it.
During our experiment earlier, we were only able to send emails to the past during the discharge.
Although it hasn't happened again, the discharge phenomenon could very well signify the injection of charge, that is, electrons. And only when it occurs does the path to the singularity open. We don't know the cause of the discharge phenomenon. That's what we need to find out. In the first place, the emails we're sending to the past are digital data, not physical objects. That's the definition from CERN's time machine. No, we're doing the same thing. Who's to say that digital data can't go through a singularity? I think it would be easier than sending something human-sized. Well, I suppose that's true. You know the way you guys talk about email? It makes me think of folding a letter into the paper airplane and making it go zoom, you know? It's more like a beam of light, like optical digital data. By the way, it's a pain to keep saying email sent to the past. Let's give it a proper name. Got a bad feeling about this. What's that supposed to mean? You dare mock Hayuno Kayuma? If you want to give it an oddball name, don't you? How rude. Heed me. I shall name the phenomena of email sent to the past as follows. The name shall be Nostalgia Drive. Confusing, rejected. Why you? Who gave you the authority to reject my ideas? You're just an assistant. Then why don't we take a vote? All in favor of the Nostalgia Drive? It's the only one that does. Have you forsaken me, Daru? Mayuri? Christian's right. It's too hard for Mayushi to remember.
It's way too Chinese, man.
Traitors. Fine. Let's hear alternatives. Don't tell me you rejected my idea without having any bright ideas of your own. I think it needed to be something easy to understand. It's an email that regresses through time, so how about retro mail? What does retro mean? It sounds like you have an answer. Christina, you said it should be easy to understand, but it wasn't easy to understand at all, was it? But that's because Mayuri's-san is, never mind. Keep doing that. We're about to say because Mayuri's dumb? No. Christian, do you think Mayuri's dumb? I promise, I don't, okay?
I vote the male who leapt through time.
Lame. That's too stiff. It's hard to say. Yeah, kill yourself right now, Daru.
That's better than saying nostalgialistic, expialidocious, expialidocious.
Supercalifragilistic expialidocious. Nonsense, and mine to make a movie title reference. That's not cool. It needs to be cool. Real shit. You're rejecting it for that?
You're rejecting it for that? Ch.3, Mayushi has an idea.
Oh, wrong voice. Way wrong voice. How about back to the mail? I took a movie title and changed the word to mail. I already did the movie doke, Mayushi. Besides, I think the meaning is a little off. Should probably bet better the future. But our emails go to the past. It's not about the meaning. I took the movie title and changed the word to mail. Either way, it's too long. And how about Dolores mail? That doesn't even say what kind of email it is. Hey, we don't have time for this nonsense. Let's just abbreviate it to D-mail and move on. But that's boring. I don't care if it's boring. Shot down. Curiousy's influence on the lab seems to have grown significantly these past few days. D-mail it is. Mayuri's prompt. I can't read. Mayuri's proclaims the decision was satisfaction. I am having a stroke. Mayuri proclaims the decision with satisfaction. So why does D-mail phenomenon occur? Because the path through the ring singularity is open. We've been over this already. We don't know if there's actually a black hole at work here. It could be an entirely different phenomenon that just happens to resemble CERN's experiments. It's dangerous to jump to conclusions. Why so timid? Don't you want our time travel experiments to succeed? That's why we put our lives on the line to hack CERN. What we need to figure out is how to turn the phone wave named subject to change into a usable time machine.
Do you really think that's possible?
There is no think, only do. What did you read that off a motivational poster? Like a classic incompetent boss. Damn. Damn you. You dare insult the insane mad scientist Hayunin Kayuma? Well, It's not like Okoren's the boss anyway. Indeed, I'm the symbol of the lab, not the boss. I don't know what you mean by symbol, but how do you plan to turn a phone wave into a time machine? Let's have the details. My plan. Alright, there's one thing. You've been thinking about the electrical discharge happens at random, but I have a hypothesis, which is... Recall the conditions when it occurred. Christina, we've experimented through the night with no results. There's one variable we overlooked. It's as simple as the most definitive variable of all. That is the time of the occurrence. We saw in the notes that they were happening around like 1, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I checked the time of the two previous occurrences. When I accidentally sent the first email to Dara's phone, it happened between noon and 1 p.m. The second time, all four of us observed the email, it was 6 p.m. So if we pawn the experiment within the time frame, we might be able to reproduce the effect. Let's try it right now. I'm glad to see that she has her priorities straight. Mushi's banana supply is getting low. Gotta buy some more. Sorry, my dear son. I'll go buy you some new bananas later. Really? Yay! Okaru and Daru can eat my bananas, but they never buy new ones. I'll be sure to amend that in the future. A bunch of bananas is a small price to pay in order to bring chaos to the world. First, let's see if I'll become a jelly man. Ah! Trying for clumsy girl appeal? It was an accident. Christian, pain, go away. Thanks, Myri-san. Kurisu pulls herself together, types on her phone, and activates the phone wave, making subject change. The banana inside the microwave slowly begins to spin backwards as the timer counts down. More jellification. Ah! Whoa! It became a gel banana. Just as I suspected, the critical variable was time. I was a little anxious about the result, but it all worked out. I outwitted the impertinent genius girl. Impertinent genius girl. Now my position as a symbol, solid. Way to go, Akabe. It was so simple I didn't notice it. Your praise does your credit, Christina, but I know you're frustrated you didn't think of it first. Cringe. Alright. I think with a successful experiment, this is a good place to end it. It's a nice, short, little late night stream. I'm trying to do more of these, just to have a little fun, get through it, and go through some nice games, relax. But thanks for watching. I appreciate it. You have a great night.